World Cup Final, France versus Argentina. The most watched sporting event on earth. France are losing 2-0 with 25 minutes left. The game is over. Argentina are untouchable. Messi thought he had already won the World Cup. And then Kylian Mbappé scores. Then scores again. Then in extra time, scores again. A hat trick in a World Cup final. Something only one man had ever done before. Geoff Hurst in 1966. 56 years ago. France lose on penalties, but Mbappé finishes with 8 goals. The most any player has scored in a single World Cup tournament in the modern era. And the entire football world asks the same question. Why does Mbappé save his most extraordinary performances for the biggest stage on earth? Well, I am about to tell you.
The version of Mbappé that shows up at the World Cup is not the same player club football sees week to week. At club level, brilliant, electric, dominant, but human, occasionally anonymous, sometimes manageable. At the World Cup, something switches. The pressure that breaks other players fuels him. The spotlight that blinds others sharpens his vision. The consequence that paralyzes most players seems to liberate him completely. He does not rise to the occasion. He was built for it. Mbappé's first World Cup. 19 years old. A teenager from Bondi walking onto the biggest stage in football for the first time. 4 goals, the Best Young Player Award, a World Cup winner's medal. But the moment that told the world who Kylian Mbappé really was came against Argentina in the round of 16. Mbappé received the ball on the halfway line, looked up, and ran. He ran so fast with such terrifying directness that his movement alone forced Benjamin Pavard to produce one of the greatest World Cup goals ever scored, just trying to keep up with the chaos Mbappé was creating. The whole of Argentina's defense was watching Mbappé. The world didn't just notice Mbappé that day. It could not look away. He became only the second teenager in history, after Pelé, to score in a World Cup knockout match. At 19 years old. Most elite players find the World Cup too large, too much expectation, too much pressure, too much consequence. The stage swallows them. The weight of a nation bends them. The fear of failure follows them into every touch. Mbappé finds it clarifying, like the noise of the entire world actually quiets something inside him. Like he needs this level of consequence to access the best version of himself. His decision-making sharpens, his finishing becomes more clinical. Defenders who had spent weeks studying every Mbappé clip available arrived at the World Cup and found themselves facing a player they had never seen before. Because that player only exists at the World Cup.
Key French players injured. Key French players unavailable. France carrying more problems into a World Cup than any defending champion in recent memory. And Mbappé carrying France on his back like it was the most natural thing in the world. 8 goals, the Golden Boot, a hat trick in the final against the greatest team in the world. France losing 2-0 to Messi's Argentina with 25 minutes left. And Mbappé scoring 3 goals in 17 minutes. 3 goals, 17 minutes against Argentina in a World Cup final. France lost on penalties. Mbappé lost on penalties. And still finished as the best player in the tournament. He has played 3 World Cups. He has scored 20 goals in 21 appearances, 1 Golden Boot, 1 World Cup winner's medal. What makes a World Cup performer? Not just goals, impact, the ability to change a match when it cannot be changed, to carry a nation when the nation needs carrying, to perform when the consequence of failure is going home. Mbappé does all 3,
simultaneously, consistently, across multiple tournaments. No player of his generation comes close. Mbappé does not just perform at the World Cup, he becomes something else entirely. Some players shrink under the weight of the biggest tournament on earth. Mbappé expands. And the question that everyone wants to know, will he become the highest goal scorer in World Cup history? Or do you think Messi will hold that record?